Hey there guys, this is Kenneth Bleedo from technicality, and right now I'm going to review the 3rd generation 8 gig iPod Touch. So without further ado, let's get it started. In the 3rd generation of the iPod Touch, we have yet to see any cosmetic changes to the body. If you look around, you'll notice that it has the same thickness, very thin, similar iPhone backing, but definitely slimmer than the iPhone. The front is still the same. You'll see it has the fully smudgeable glass, 2.5-inch display, super bright. You have your home button. You have on the bottom your Apple dock connector, or iPod connector, I should say. You have your headphone jack, and on the left side you have your volume rockers, and on the top you have your sleep on and off button, and of course on the back we have the regular iPod stainless steel backing, which I really was wishing they would change. I really was hoping for like an aluminum finish, or maybe at least a plastic finish similar to the iPhone. But definitely the one thing that I really want from an iPod Touch is an internal mic, and that of course is absent from this model and the higher tiers. The internal mic is very important because tons of apps on the iPhone and iPod Touch use a mic. Definitely those on the App Store like Skype, iCall, Okirana, IMT Pain. You know, I'm just naming a few of the bunch that use mics, and it's definitely a necessity, and hopefully we'll get to see it next time around. I definitely wanted a camera from the iPod Touch. That is something that we should see in the iPod Touch, hopefully next generation, but I really wanted one this generation, especially because the Nano has one. And possibly GPS too. GPS would have been a nice feature, you know, geotagging with the camera as well as GPS navigation, even though we can do that with TomTom Kit, but I'm not going to pay $150 for that, or $100. But as for the internals, the 8 gig iPod Touch does not have basically any new internals. But you know what? The 64 and 32 gig models do have the internals of an iPhone 3GS, with the exception, of course, of the phone components. But for all 3rd generation iPod Touch owners, though, you will get wireless N, possibly in the future, via firmware update, and that's because we do have the chip of the wireless N Wi-Fi. Apple just hasn't enabled it yet in the software, so we'll have to look forward to that later. But that's really it for the design. So, performance-wise, the 8 GB 3rd generation iPod Touch in comparison to the last generation iPod Touch is pretty much the same. You'll notice that, you know, pretty much the same speed across the board, maybe a little bit snappier navigating through menus and apps, and loading times may be faster, but again, not much of a noticeable difference here. And I think that the $199 price point with this price is pretty much just worth it. I really personally don't care about speed, because I know that everything on the App Store will be backwards compatible to each iPhone and iPod Touch for the most part, so I'm not that worried about compatibility at this point. So yeah, speed definitely not an issue. But if you are a speed demon, you want to go play some graphic intense games, go ahead and grab the 32 gig, because you may need the space for those graphic intense games as well. But not much, again, of a speed difference between this and the 2nd generation iPod Touch. So yeah, keep that in mind if you are for speed. But one thing before I wrap up performance, you will notice that the accelerometer definitely works faster in this generation. It definitely works within the second rather than within 1 or 2 seconds more. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot of time, but I mean, it is somewhat of an enhancement, if you will. As you can see, it literally just changes, and that is Engadget. It's a graphically intense site compared to like Google or something, and it literally just changes on the second. So, great job on Apple's part, and I really think that they tried to tweak this as much as possible to get the most experience and the most speed for people that buy this. So, that's a really good job on Apple's part. So yeah, overall this iPod is pretty nice. I mean, you're not going to get the speed that the higher tiers get, but overall it's still a pretty fast device. It'll play pretty much everything that is on the App Store that is not only iPhone compatible, and I mean it is fast enough to pretty much play every game, and I don't mean that it's on the borderline of playing any of those games. It is literally fast enough to play those games with efficiency and without any noticeable trouble. But you know what, really compared to the 32 and the 64 gig, you will notice differences. But I mean, for the 199 price point, you really can't go wrong. So yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you guys have enjoyed my review. If you have any comments or if you have something to say about my review or the iPod Touch, feel free to comment below or send me a private message. So yeah, please rate and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I would appreciate it if you guys actually looked around on our YouTube channel. We did a redesign recently, and tell us what you think on the channel comments. And yeah, again, please rate. I really want to want you guys to rate our videos. That'll help us make better videos in the future. So yeah, again, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it.